Hey there, folks. This is Sean Shaughnessy back with a segment of our ongoing series on improving our practice and improving the way that we manage our practice. Today I want to talk about a subject that may be a little touchy for folks. I already used that word once a video ago, but when you're talking about the use of time and the way that you spend your time, that can be a bit of a touchy subject. So that's why I say that. As I have said before, I am not the slick guy that has everything memorized, so I will have a couple of notes here just to make sure that I stay on track. I want to give you the best information that I possibly can, and if I kind of do this without some guidance along the way, more than likely I'm going to miss something, and that's not going to be a benefit to you. So forgive me if I don't seem somewhat slick. So what I want to talk about is a concept called paid or unpaid time. Have you ever heard of that before? Paid or unpaid time? What are your thoughts? Did you do the time audits that we talked about? What did you discover? What did your habits look like? How much time did you spend in front of the tube? How much time did you spend sharpening your pencils? How much time did you spend in front of CNBC? And finally, how much time did you spend picking up the phone and asking for an order? Be honest with yourself, really honest with yourself, because the only way that you can overcome a habit that is not in your best interest is to identify it, figure out why you are doing that habit, and then take measures to correct that habit. So, anyway, did you find yourself doing things that would make you money or didn't make you money? In other words, paid time would be an activity where you are actively making a commission or a fee, or you are moving in a direction where you are going to make that commission or a fee. Okay, how much of your time last week did you spend working on that action? What did your schedule look like last week? Did the day take over your actions, or did you take action over your day? Think about that for a second. Did the day take over your actions? In other words, you went around putting out fires and receiving phone calls, working on things as they come up, or did you have an actual plan to work your day? You knew that between 8 and 10 you were going to give it your best shot to make 10 phone calls to 10 different clients, asking for an account review, asking for a transaction, whatever the case may be. So why do we avoid those paid time activities? What's getting in our way? Well, first of all, they're hard. Doing the paid activities, the paid time activities, those activities are far harder than sitting around and staring at CNBC and watching what Sue Herrera has to say on any given moment. So I understand that. The work can be tedious. It can be boring, especially if you're prospecting, especially if you happen to be a rookie. Even if you're a $300,000 producer, prospecting can be tedious, and you get told no time and time and time and time and time again, and that gets really old, and you develop head trash. Am I doing something wrong? Does my breath stink? Are my shoes not shined well enough? You think of all sorts of different reasons as to why prospecting is tough and why you shouldn't do it. So it's tedious, it's boring. Paid time can be that way. And then finally, paid time will move us out of our comfort zone very often. We work in a business where we are actively asking people for money, excuse me. The question, though, is that are we comfortable asking for money? Have we arrived at that point to where we can say, Mr. Jones, I think it would make sense at this particular time if we moved $250,000 from these American funds over to this AXA annuity? Sometimes that is a really difficult question to ask, and it gets ourselves out of our comfort zone, and we really would rather not do that. So that is an example of, why we avoid paid time. So what is unpaid time? Well, we can certainly come up with a myriad of examples of that, but surfing the web, here's one that I really like: developing an elaborate business plan that deep down inside that you are not going to execute upon. You may get a third of that done, but the more complicated the business plan, the more unlikely you're going to act upon it. And then here's another one that I really don't like: building proposals. And we are famous for this. Building a book for a prospective client that hasn't given us any indication whatsoever that they want to do business with us. There is a saying that was developed by a very well-respected sales training firm, and that saying is called unpaid consulting. How many of you are doing that? How many of you are putting those beautiful proposals together, and before you know it, the guy is saying, "Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. We'll get back with you." And then they go to their current financial advisor and say, "Hey, is this something that we ought to do?" So I think you're getting the picture in terms of what we're talking about. Unpaid time, these are and the ones that I named earlier, those are a little more detailed than some of the obvious time wasters. But unpaid time, those are things that are going to rob you of your day. So as you were doing the time management audit piece, were you able to determine how much of your day was paid time and how much of your day was unpaid time? Let's be honest, rookies should spend 70–80% of their time doing paid activities. In other words, activities that are either asking for an order or building relationships with people that could possibly turn into a new business relationship. Veterans, 30–50% of your time you should be cultivating referrals, cultivating different types of different ways of coming up with new business. It just makes sense. And let's take that one step further. If you have a book of A shares and variable annuities, you need to spend a heck of a lot more time prospecting than the guy that has $50 million of managed money. So that being said, what does your ideal day look like? Do you have one? In the next segment, we're going to explore what the ideal day looks like and how to put one together. I think you'll find it very interesting, and I think you'll find it helpful as you fine-tune your practice. So, I appreciate you clicking the button and listening to what I have to say. Please do not forget to visit me on my website. That address is in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Give me a call if you want to as well. And I do appreciate you taking the time to listen. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.